Our last video in this series is about saving your plots. Um, Especially thinking of something like the midterm, you often need to save your plots to put it into a presentation or a document or something of that type. And like with everything in R, there's multiple ways to do it. And I'm going to teach you two. So one is in your little viewer for the plot, you can just click this little export button and then save it. As simple as that. However, um, it's often that I'm making a lot of plots. Um, and having to save them manually by clicking on all those buttons is really time consuming. So rather, I want to use code in my script to save it for me. This also gives you just a little bit more control over how this plot is going to be saved. So the function here is ggsave. You do in quotation marks what you want it to be named including a file extension. So a PNG file, or you could do a JPEG. PNG's usually probably the best way to go. And then here you're specifying the size of it. Do you want it, and this is in inches, so 6 inches wide, 4 inches tall. And then DPI, this is the resolution of the image. Now, the higher the resolution, the more space it takes, but PNG files don't take a lot of space, especially these plots. They're quite small. But if you need anything that's going to be print quality, you need it to be at least 300. I often do 6 or 1200 because these images are not very big, and higher resolution just makes it more flexible in whatever kind of format or a situation you might use. Now, a key point with these is wherever you put that GG save, um, is it is going to save most of the time the last plot you created. Um, so let's type some code down here and then we'll talk about what that. Okay, so I couldn't remember if you had to specify file. Okay, so this is what you want it to save as. Let's call this example bar plot dot png. Maybe I want this to be 7 inches wide and 5 inches tall. Often you just need to mess around with that a little bit until it looks good. Let's go crazy and make it 2000 DPI. Really, really high resolution here. Now, okay, what is it going to save and where is it going to save? Because in this code right here, I haven't specified that I want to save this plot. But what it's actually going to do is save the last plot that was in your viewer. And it's going to save this to your working directory. So I'm going to run this, and my working directory for this is this folder right here, example bar plot. All right, this is less than 1 megabyte despite being such high resolution. We can open that up, and that looks good to me. It's important to open it up and make sure it looked okay, because sometimes, based on the width or the height you set, maybe you need to adjust those things until it looks good. Let's just, for example, let's change that to 10 dpi and rerun it and go see what that looks like. So it was like 500 kilobytes, now it's 1. You can see how that resolution really matters. Um, this is a very low resolution. It's going to make it hard to use. So the higher that resolution, the more settings you can use in. And 300 is considered print um, quality. But again, they're such small files, there's no harm in making it even bigger. Okay, so it's saving that one. Now let's go back, and this is now the one in my viewer. So if I run this, it should save this one, not the one with the blue bar. Oh, maybe. Ah, I was wrong. Okay, it saves the final one, the last one. So the way I do this is every time I have a plot that needs to be saved, I'm going to have it immediately follow whatever plot I want it to save, and I run those things together. So I would have one there, and I would have one here, so that if I run this plot and then I run it, in fact, I'm just going to run those together, then it's going to save gray one like that. Or if I run this, it's going to save that one. Like that. Now, obviously, I'd want those to be different names. All right, so I'm going to label, these like bar plot with colors, boring gray bar plot. Actually, I'm going to give them better names than that. I'm going to be like bar plot mean stores by rurality or something like that, to make those names really useful. Okay, that is it. You know how to create all these plots. You know how to save them. Hopefully, you'll be able to practice a little bit with ChatGPT, and be willing to go back and forth with it until it will make your plot look the way you want. Looking forward to working on this class, and we'll see you then.